Hello everyone, myself Chandni Vasi from Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center Navsari. In previous lecture we learned the limit of a complex variable. Today we learn continuity of a function or complex variable. So a function w equals to f of z is continuous at a point z0 if all the following conditions are satisfied. The conditions are limit z tends to z0, f of z0 exists. Second one, f of z0 exists. And third one, limit z tends to z0, f of z equals to f of z0. If these three conditions are satisfied, then we can say that given function is continuous at point z0. If f of z is continuous at all points in D, it is said to be continuous on D. One note, if f of z is continuous function of z, then u of xy and v of xy are separately continuous function of x and y and vice versa. That means if u and v are continuous function, then f of z, we know that f of z equals to u plus iv. Then if u and v both are continuous, then we can say that our function f of z is continuous. Number 2, if limit z tends to z0, f of z equals to capital L, then limit z tends to z0, f of z bar equals to L bar. Number 3, a function f of z that is not continuous at z0 is called discontinuous at z0. If function is not continuous, then it is discontinuous. Number 4, if f of z and g of z are continuous at z0, then f of z plus or minus g of z and f of z into g of z are also continuous. The quotient f of z by g of z is continuous at z0 except g of z0 not equals to 0. Here f of z and g of z are continuous function at z0. That is functions addition and subtractions and multiplication are also continuous, and quotient f of z by g of z also it is continuous at z0. Number 5, the polynomial function is continuous everywhere in the z plane, and the rational function which are quotients of polynomials are continuous at all points except where the denominator is 0. Here polynomial function is continuous everywhere. That means every polynomial function is continuous function in z plane. Also the rational function means quotients of the polynomial is continuous at all the points, but in quotients denominator not equals to 0, so here except denominator is 0. Now one example, examine the continuity of the function f of z equals to z square plus 3z minus 1. So first given function we convert into u plus iv. So we have real part and imaginary part. We know that f of z equals to u plus iv. So we have a real part and imaginary part. So first we convert this function into real part and imaginary part. So take z equals to x plus iy. So f of z equals to, put z equals to x plus iy. So x plus iy whole square plus 3 x plus iy minus 1. Now a plus b whole square is a square plus 2ab plus b square. So that we have x square plus 2ixy plus I square y square. But I square equals to minus 1. So we have minus y square. So x square minus y square plus 3x plus 3iy minus 1. So in all the terms, we have real part is x square minus y square plus 3x minus 1 plus I. Imaginary part is 2xy plus 3y. So u equals to x square minus y square plus 3x minus 1 and v equals to 2xy plus 3y. Here u and v both are polynomial function, and we know that polynomial function are always continuous everywhere. So u and v are continuous for all x and y. So our total function f of z u plus iv is continuous for all z. The another example, so that f of z equals to z square plus 1 upon z minus I, where z not equals to I, and twice I, z equals to I, continuous at z equals to I. So here we can show that given function f of z is continuous at point z equals to I. Also, we know that in our definition, we show that limit z tends to z0 f of z equals to f of z0. So here limit z tends to I, z square plus 1 upon z minus I. Our f of z is here z square plus 1 upon z minus I. So we can write, we also know that in previous lecture we uh, see that z square plus 1 equals to z plus I, z minus I. So limit z tends to I, z square plus 1 we can write z plus I, z minus I upon z minus I. So z minus I, z minus I cancel out. So we have limit z tends to I, z plus I. Now put the limit as z tends to I. We have I plus I. So answer is 2I. So f of z0 equals to f of I. But here we have f of I given that twice I, and also we have f of z0 equals to 2I. So we can write limit z tends to I, z square plus 1 upon z minus I equals to twice I, that is equals to f of I. So limit z tends to I, f of z equals to f of z0. So our condition satisfied. Hence we can say that f of z is continuous at z equals to I. Now, the another example, find out and given reason whether f of z is continuous at z equals to 0. If f of z equals to real part of z square upon mod z, where z not equals to 0 and 0, z equals to 0. Here we have limit z tends to 0 f of z, but f of z is real part of z square upon mod z. So we can write real part of z square, but we know that z square is x square minus y square plus 2ixy upon mod z. We know also know that square root of x square plus y square. So we have limit z tends to 0, z means x plus iy, so we can write x tends to 0, y tends to 0. So limit x tends to 0, y tends to 0, real part of z square x square minus y square plus 2ixy upon under root x square plus y square. Now real part of this term, so here real part is x square minus y square, so we have only x square minus y square upon mod z is under root x square plus y square. Now we can check and give the reason whether f of z is continuous at z equals to 0. So from here our example is, we can check along x axis, along y axis, and next slope m. So if along x-axis and along y-axis answer will be same, then we can write f of z is continuous at z equals to 0. And if the values of along x-axis and along y-axis are not same, then given function is not continuous or discontinuous function. So here along x-axis we have y equals to 0. So we can write our function as limit x tends to 0. First limit y tends to 0 because x-axis then y equals to 0. So limit y tends to 0 x square minus y square upon x square plus y square. So limit x tends to 0. Here y tends to 0, so this term 0, this term 0. So we have x square upon under root x square, but under root x square is x. So x square upon x, limit x tends to 0, x square upon x is x, and limit x tends to 0, x is 0. The next along y axis, so we have x equals to 0. So same way limit y tends to 0. First limit x tends to 0 because along y axis. So we put limit x tends to 0. We have minus y square upon under root y square, but under root y square is y. So minus y square upon y. So limit y tends to 0, minus y square upon y. So minus y, but y tends to 0. So we have value is 0. So we can say that f of z0 equals to, answer is 0. So f of 0 equals to 0. Therefore, limit z tends to 0, f of z equals to f of z0. So f of z is continuous at z equals to 0. Now next, f of z equals to imaginary part of z upon mod z, where z not equals to 0 and 0 z equals to 0. So here we have limit z tends to 0, f of z equals to limit z tends to z0, imaginary part of z upon modulus z. But we know that imaginary part of z is, we have z equals to x plus iy. This is our real part, this is our imaginary part. So imaginary part of z is, we have y. So we put the value of imaginary part of z is y, and also we know that modulus z is under root x square plus y square. So we have limit z tends to z0. So z is x plus x plus iy, z0 is x0 plus iy0. So we have limit x tends to 0, y tends to 0, y upon under root x square plus y square. Now we check along x-axis, along y-axis. So along x-axis we have y equals to 0. Along y-axis we have x equals to 0. So first in along x-axis we have y equals to 0. So limit x tends to 0. Limit y tends to 0. Value is y upon under root x square plus y square. So we put first limit y tends to 0. So 0 upon under root x square plus 0. So 0 upon under root x square. So under root x square is x. So limit x tends to 0, 0 by x. But 0 by something is 0. So answer is 0. Now along y-axis. Along y-axis we have x equals to 0. So limit y tends to 0. Limit x tends to 0, y upon under root x square plus y square. But here limit x tends to 0. So this term is 0. So we have y upon under root y square. But under root y square is y. So y upon y is 1. Limit y tends to 0, 1. So answer is 1. So here we have along x-axis answer is 0, along y-axis answer is 1. So both the answer are not same. So limit z tends to z0, f of z does not exist. So limit z tends to z0, f of z not equals to f of z0. So function is not continuous at z equals to 0, or given function f of z is discontinuous at z equals to 0. Now the next example, same way we can check f of z equals to real part of z upon 1 plus mod z, where z not equals to 0 and 0 z equals to 0. So here limit z tends to 0, given f of z equals to limit z tends to 0, real part of z Real part of z is x upon 1 plus mod z. But here real part of z is x, but z tends to 0. So x tends to 0, y tends to 0. So our first term is 0. 0 by mod z, x and y both are 0. So 0 by 1 is 0. And also given that at z equals to 0, function is 0, so f of z0 equals to f of 0, the value is 0. Therefore limit z tends to z0, f of z equals to f of z0, so f of z is continuous at z equals to 0.